Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Alrighty, we're gonna get started here. Get started here. Alrighty. I guess what we'll do is just have people come up as we just call them out and speak and go from there. Hello, y'all. My name is Minister Dominique Alexander, President and founder of the Next Generation Action Network. I want to first say thank you for all who is standing alongside our public educators and our community who is currently under attack. I want to first off and say that the Next Generation Action Network felt it was appropriate to hold this press conference to make sure that we make it clear to the state of Texas that we 100% have the back of our State Board of Education, Dr. Tiffany Clark, which it was appropriate for the Texas Education Commissioner to even notify our duly elected State Board of Education that this was even happening. And of course, we know that she found out about it when pretty much everyone else found about it. We know that in the state statute that even though our state legislatures have weakened the ability of our State Board of Education, we know that in the statute it is appropriate for the Education Commissioner to notify our State Board of Education and even do a proper notification to the duly elected school board here. I want people to understand that this takeover is bigger than academic outcomes. This has nothing to do with academic outcomes. The Next Generation Action Network has made sure for the last 10 years that our biggest voice is in education. I want to first off and say to many people that says why Dominique Alexander has something to say with this. Just want to give a brief of my resume. I currently serve as Vice Chair of the Dallas ISD Bond Board, which is worth $3.5 billion. It's the largest bond in the state of Texas history. It shows us a lot of the business side of education. I want people to just really stretch their mind to understand the money that is involved in public education. Let me say this. In the city of Fort Worth ISD is the largest landowner. Most times, every 5 years, they do what is called a bond election to upgrade schools. Bond elections cannot pay for teachers. They're normally done construction and tablets and technology and different devices. I know some of our board members and school board members know they do it every month and vote for these things and contracts and upgrades. You're talking about contracts from construction companies from the size of $200 million at a time, all the way down to $300,000. We see it all the time. We know that when the TEA took over Houston ISD, that they had already made a decision who the superintendent was. Please don't be bamboozled to think that this is a process that is built on the democracy. The Board of Managers were already selected. Some of these individuals might have already been notified and told to shut up. Please don't be bamboozled. There is already conversations that they already know who the executor is. I have been told several times, and I'll say it here if he says anything wrong, but I've heard Dr. Michael Hinojosa's name several times. Just the way that I heard Mike Miles' name several times. Let me give you a little bit of history of Mike Morath. Mike Morath sat on the school board of Dallas ISD. Most of these individuals who are doing this agenda over TEA takeover in this private agenda to take over public education lives in Dallas. they meet about this thing all the time. When Betsy DeVos came to Dallas, Betsy DeVos came with an agenda. Betsy DeVos was the U.S. Education Secretary under Trump's first term. If you know anything about the DeVos family and what they did in dismantling the state of Michigan's education system, just go there. Go to the cities of Detroit. Go to the cities of Flint and Saginaw and ask them what are their public education providers. We also see in Houston ISD where major land have been sold off. When you look at your communities and you talk about gentrification, your local school district can gentrify your communities real quick because they're the largest landowner. Most land you don't even know Fort Worth or a school district even own. There are buildings on land that the school districts own that you don't even know until you know. We have saw Houston ISD sell off majority of its portfolio of its land holdings. We also see that since Mike Miles did not pass a bond election, now he wants to invoke what is called SB 1882. SB 1882 was passed in the 2017 legislature that allows for school boards to allow private entities to manage your schools. Meaning outside of the board of managers, you're gonna also say, hey, this private foundation and private board is now the managers of Paul Dunbar High School. That's the reality, because they have the choice to do that. And so we want people to understand exactly what's going on. Why isn't they really telling you the real about what's going on? I speak with teachers every day. The real problem in our education system in the state of Texas is the fact that teachers have to focus 70% of their school year on a test that doesn't get this child into college or doesn't even get this child into trade school or even give them the common sense of how to even live life. Most of us went to school and we had things like home ec, cooking classes, civic classes, and things like that. Those are all gone in the education system. What do we see? We see school districts having to pay billions of dollars to vendors for test preps, for testing. Your school district has to pay a vendor to actually come in and run the STAR test. And then you're evaluated from a system that is ranked 42 out of 50 states. And how is the audacity for Mike Morath to give a grade to Fort Worth ISD and he haven't even gave a grade to his damn self? Texas is ranked number 42 in the country in education. Every national rating system has literally said Texas is at the bottom. Literally every time a corporate company comes in the technology, they have to bring more than half of their workforce. Because we're not even teaching our kids to even keep up with the economy that is continuing to grow. And we celebrate building data centers, but whose jobs ain't coming to us? The reality is, and let's be real, how can a system tell you you're failing when it's failing? The reality is that this law says that if one school in a school district fails, I can take it over. And then gives your school board 45 days to appeal the decision when you didn't even have an actual process to even take it over. Hey, listen, y'all. My goal is to make sure that our communities of North Texas This issue is not just isolated to Fort Worth. It's the same thing when I spoke in Houston. This is not just isolated to Houston. This is an attack on Texas public education as we know it. And guess what? It's Fort Worth today. They're having the same conversations about Lake Worth. They're having certain conversations about multiple different school districts that they feel like they can hoodwink and bamboozle. And I'm just going to say this. It was very convenient. I'm not just going to say it, but it was very convenient how quick y'all mayor responded to it.
Whoa!
So it was very convenient how quick she was to respond to it. But the people y'all elected on your school board didn't get the proper notification. Your duly elected state board of education didn't get the proper notification. But evidently the mayor got the proper notification. So since she likes to attack people, speak on that. I want to bring up Dr. Tiffany Clark, who is a good friend of mine, and we have worked. Dr. Tiffany Clark served on the DeSoto ISD school board, and she currently serves as our State Board of Education trustee, representing most of Dallas, most of Tarrant County, and around. Of course, her district is about as gerrymandered as they want to, but I'm going to bring her up.
Good afternoon. The people of Fort Worth and the people of Texas have a constitutional right to choose their leaders. But right now, that's being chipped away. The era of big government is taking over here in Texas, and it's showing up in our local schools. This is Texas. We used to believe in local control. We used to trust our communities to know what's best for our children. So I have to ask, what's happened? First Houston, now Fort Worth. The voters need to wake up. This should be a wake-up call for every voter in Texas, every parent, every educator, every community member. Pay attention. Austin thinks they know what's best for our schools, but they don't even live here. They don't teach here. They don't raise families here. We have to keep Austin out of our schools. Let me be clear. I was blindsided by the announcement and press conference. I truly had no idea. The commissioner never contacted me, never called me, never sent me an email or even a text message of what his decision would be. Despite me continually asking at the previous state board meetings that were held, our recent meeting in June as well as September, he did not share. He was not transparent. There was no communication, and clearly there is no respect for me in this position as your state board member. And let's not pretend this is about academics, because it's not. This is political at its finest. This move is an insult to the superintendent of Fort Worth ISD, who hasn't even had time to do the comprehensive work in this district yet. This is a district that just went from 31 failing schools to 11 in 1 year. That's real progress. That means there is hope in Fort Worth ISD. And it deserves support, not state interference. It does need resources. Every single board meeting, I continually ask, what are we doing to close the gaps for our students? We all know that students of color are struggling. But what is the state doing to fix that? To truly address equity, to provide the resources our schools actually need. The Texas Education Agency has no idea what our local districts truly need, and I stand on that. Instead of sending in their people, how about we send in resources? How about we empower our educators to focus on student outcomes and not compliance checklists? And let's not forget, this is happening at the same time we're watching efforts to erase history. And when they erase history, they're erasing our history. To Commissioner Morath, we need to look beyond politics. It should not matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. If you are an elected official in this state of Texas, I am asking you that and telling you that we need to work together. So I have a challenge for you, Commissioner. Let's not act like this is Washington, D.C. This is Texas. I need you to act like it. Have more respect for the folks, our folks that our individuals in our communities have elected. Sit down with us and give our communities the decency and respect they deserve. Fort Worth deserves better. Texas deserves better. So I'll say it again. Y'all better wake up and start voting, because the future of public education and our democracy is on the ballot. And yes, we have to ask the hard question. Are they trying to privatize our schools? Turn them into in-house charters under state control? If that's the direction we're headed, then we must stand up, speak out, and fight back for our students, our teachers, and our right to self-govern. Thank you, and thank you to the Phillips family for hosting us today.
I'm gonna have Councilmember Chris Nettles come next.
Thank you guys for being here. This is as important to the city of Fort Worth as it is to our ISD. We house, we govern our students, our teachers, parents, and even the superintendent. And it is quite important that we show our support today. This announcement of the takeover and shakedown of the Fort Worth ISD is critically going to directly affect our children. I stood yesterday at Morningside Middle School at one of our schools that has struggled. And the struggle is not just in the classroom. The struggle is in our streets, in our grocery stores, and in our homes. And so just as Dr. Clark talked about, I have a challenge for the city of Fort Worth. We talk about, we write letters, we don't go down to school boards, and we give out this information of how we want to be an effect to our school district. But my granny taught me at a young age, put your money where your mouth is. The city of Austin in 2024 put on Proposition A on the ballot to give $41 million to the school district to increase compensation to our teachers. I'm going to challenge the city of Fort Worth to do the same, to help support where we need to give support to. We know our teachers are struggling. They should not have to be trying to buy pencils, notebook pads, work overnight to help our children without any support. How can you underfund our schools and also take it over at the same time? This proposition not only needs to help our students, but it can go directly to the 11 schools that are in trouble. Here's my issue that I have with the takeover. If we have seen a turnaround in a year, I want to challenge you that turnaround just didn't start this year. Because in order to turn a ship, and this is a big ship that we're turning, over 50 schools. In order to turn a ship, you have to gracefully, you have to patiently turn it with sincereness. Because if you sharply turn a ship, people that are on that ship are gonna get tossed overboard. And what you are seeing today, the school district, our elected officials are getting tossed away in the ocean. Some good, some bad. But nevertheless, you don't get to determine which ones are good or bad when you turn so sharp. We need to support our ISD elected trustees who we have elected in our neighborhoods, who walk the street, who talk to our parents, who goes to games, who understands our children and their struggles so that they can help lead this city forward through our school district. And so I challenge our mayor, our city council, our city manager, our city attorney to find a way for the city of Fort Worth to partner with the Fort Worth ISD. We cannot afford to sit back behind letters and notices and conversation. We got to get in the game. So I don't necessarily support this takeover, But what I will say to our community and our residents, you have my 100% devoted attention to making sure that you're not left alone, that you're not notified, and that you're not taken care of. And so as we navigate these dangerous waters that have been sent down from Washington, D.C. since January, only in the 10th month, as we navigate these horrific challenges to take over our students, because the real key is to make sure they can learn, read, and be educators in the city of Fort Worth, where they can come back, build homes here, be educators, and be workforce in our communities. If we're going to do that, we gotta do it together. And what we saw yesterday was simply someone using their power to put pen to paper and take our votes, our voting rights away, and our strength away. So you have my commitment, parents. Don't get tired in well-doing. You have the support of this council, myself, and those that are here. Thank you.
I'm gonna bring up Fort Worth ISD School Board, Wallace Bridges.
Thank you guys, and thank you guys for being here. I'm gonna say a number, 46, and I want everybody to remember that number, and there's a reason why I'm saying that. 3.5 years ago, I was encouraged to run for school board, and it was not exactly something I had planned. The person I ran against had 3 times the amount of money, had all the political support out there for him. And 3 former mayors had endorsed him the whole 9 yards. But I believe that the people, that if I can knock on the doors, I knocked on 300 doors, made hundreds of phone calls, ran out of money. I said all that to say that when we won our race, we won it by how many? What number I said? Say it again. 46 people walk me for just every time I go to a shopping center, or if I'm in a store and somebody come up, so you know I was the one that got those 46 people. And everybody felt like they was a part of the win, because they were knocking on doors, because they were calling for, you know, it was my cousin that went down there and voted for you to make sure. I say that every time I sat on that diocese. My mind is not on Wallace, what Wallace wants. My mind was on what the community that I represent, because I knew how hard they worked to get me in that seat. Not the money, because I didn't have the money. It wasn't I didn't have the political clout, but the people. Can I say that again? It was the people who said, we want you in this seat. So my frustration as to what's happening, we have neutered the people. We've said that you're not important because you got out and voted, because that's who you wanted to represent you. So I say that to the decisions that we make, it affects how many people? I said 46 people, and I will do it to the end till I lay down, because I take pleasure when I walk to a school and a parent come up to say, Wallace, thank you so much for bringing up that issue. Or a teacher mentioned something to me, because I know this was the issue that I heard from knocking on 300 doors. I know that what they were saying, and I made a commitment that that's the lane I was going to stay in, because it wasn't my seat, but it was the people's seat. That's why I'm here, and that's what's important. Thank you, guys.
Y'all, I'm going to bring up the next person that is very, very dear to my heart. She served as the NAACP person in Arlington for years, and every time I came to Tarrant County, I always had to hit her up. I'm saying, hey, I'm coming past your borderline. You got to be with me. And I'm so honored to say that what activism and organizing and true being about the people really propels you and elevates you in life. And I want to introduce and bring up my dear friend, Tarrant County Commissioner Alyssa Simmons.
Well, welcome to Tarrant County. This is typical Tarrant County, if I must say so my damn self. And let's be honest, this is not about helping our students, is it? That's not what this is. This is about power and control.
Yes.
Typical Tarrant County. Fort Worth, like Mr. Bridges said, they chose their trustees. They went to the polls through a democratic process and chose their trustees. And now the governor and his allies in Austin want to throw that choice out and install the people they want to do simply what they're told to do. So several of us need to go apply, make application to the Board of Managers. And let's watch and see if we're chosen. It won't be us. Guarantee you that. Dr. Clark, it won't be. You absolutely need to apply. We know he should be chosen. It won't happen. This is political overreach. I've watched as this Board of Trustees, the leadership of the school district, have made progress in improving the district. They should be allowed to continue doing their work. We know what this is really about. It's another attempt by right-wing MAGA agenda folks to undermine public education and silence voices right here locally. So I'm not going to say much more other than I'll stand with our Board of Trustees, parents, educators, and the poor students that are having to endure this nonsense. And I want to say Fort Worth belongs to the people of Fort Worth and not Austin politicians trying to run our school district, our state, our county, etc. Thank you.
Y'all, the next person I have is a dear friend of mine, a person who has definitely shown true leadership. I remember meeting her after the uprising of George Floyd, and of course she been a blessing and a burden. No, no, with all seriousness, y'all, it is important. This work of being out in the front lines in the community sometimes is very unthanked. It's a true sacrifice to your own personal well-being. I want to bring up community organizer Patrice Jones.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. It feels good to stand alongside like-minded individuals. My name is Patrice Jones, and I'm representing my nonprofit By Any Means. The lovely Deborah Peoples, Councilman Peoples, is a part of my board, so she's here today. But we are going to release a statement and stand firmly with the students, the teachers, the families of Fort Worth ISD in opposing the attempted state takeover of our district. Let's be clear, this is not an education issue. This is a democracy issue. District takeovers are not solutions, they are simply Band-Aids. They are Band-Aids placed over decades of defunding and divestment in public education, in the public education system. When the state takes over our local schools, it strips away the power from our community, our parents, our teachers, and our students who know our schools the best. Houston, we can only take a look right 4 hours away to Houston and kind of see what's going to come next here in Fort Worth. Since the TEA takeover in Houston, enrollment has dropped, class sizes have grown, the teacher turnover rate has skyrocketed. Students are currently paying the price for policies that silence our communities instead of supporting them. This move is yet another attempt by our state leadership to expand control rather than to empower our educators, our students, and our volunteers who are already doing the work to uplift our schools. Our children deserve better. They deserve investment, not interference. They deserve teachers who are supported and not silenced. and they deserve a community that has a voice in shaping their future. We call on all public education advocates, parents, students, teachers, and community partners to stand together to reject this takeover. Together, we can demand that our state reinvest in education and not replace our local leadership that was elected by the people. So Wallace's statement really just resonated with me, because at the end of the day, people are supposed to control their politicians, to select our politicians, to select the people that are representing us. And what we're seeing happening with the gerrymandering, with everything, starting right here in Tarrant County, trickling throughout Texas and nationwide, we're seeing the exact opposite. So I'm asking that we become more involved, start being more comfortable speaking truth to power, and collectively as a community, we can really be the change that we want to see. Thank you.
I want to be able to point out this nugget right real quick before I bring another community organizer. Put this in your mind. Texas ranked per student allocation 47 out of 50. 47 out of 50 per student allocation. Delaware literally is ranked 5th in the country. Ain't got the equivalence of students. I already told you they're ranked 42 in outcomes of education across the country. They give 47, they're ranked 47th in the country on per student allocation. Okay? This past legislature, we fought very hard to eliminate STAR, get per student allocation, get teacher raises, and even by that example, they're still ranked 47th. The last time I checked is that the state of Texas is the second largest population. I think it's a couple of numbers behind the A-ball. But this is the system that tells y'all. And like I said, we see through posts on social media after social media, yeah, it should be about the kids and blah, blah, blah. And that's the reason why we do this press conference today, because we want it to be about the kids, right? We want to continue to say, oh yeah, let it be about the kids. Let it be about the kids. But we know it's not about the kids, because guess what? When they had the opportunity to put their money where their mouth is. See, when you have a broken system, you fund it, right? You fund it. If Fort Worth ISD need help, give it the resources that it needs to pay teachers what it's worth, so that teachers don't have second jobs after they teach our children. Texas pays our teachers, is ranked 41 in the state in teachers' pay. So I want to bring up a community organizer. I just met her today, but everybody has told me when you go to a Fort Worth school board meeting, you can't go to a Fort Worth ISD school board meeting and not hear her voice and what she got to say. So I said, sister, we're going to have something to say today.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but my name is Keisha Brazil, and I hail to you from, I'm a proud graduate of the historic Dunbar High School, and I'm also a parent of a Wildcat. And before I'm gonna make it real personal for you, because this is a personal for me. My daughter is currently a senior at Dunbar High School, and she recently got accepted to University of California, Berkeley. She didn't go to YWLA or TABS or all these special schools. Dunbar High School. So if we can get it right, there's a lot of great narratives, and she's not the only one. Yes. So don't say it's the school district. It's not the school district. Let's place the blame where it truly and really is. See, I fight for kids, and I do go to school board meetings, and me and Wallace have a wonderful relationship. He's my school board trustee, but I also will call Toby and say, Jean McClung, ain't working. Why? Because I have a natural care for students, and that's where I draw the line. Now, I will go to a city council meeting, show out too.
Man, we know. We know.
But this is where I draw the line. I will bleed for these. They will not be casualties in people's politics. They are not. And so the blame is, or the difference is, we have not leveled the playing field. Don't ask kids to do things that we have not prepared them to do. If we have parents who are not even educated enough to educate their kids, why are we asking them to have accountability rating when the accountability has not even started at the house? Let's place the blame where it's supposed to be. So if the mayor want to come to a school board meeting, which that was the first time I had ever seen her at one, and you want to come and complain, this has been an ongoing problem. You didn't just become the mayor. You've been the mayor. This is your city. That was a little too late for me, for you to be concerned about the future of Fort Worth, because this is what these kids are. They're the future of Fort Worth. So if you're really concerned about the future of Fort Worth, you would have been putting stuff in place to work in conjunction with Fort Worth people. I don't even need a raise, because I'm talking to you as a parent, but also an educator. I'm a substitute teacher. And the only reason I'm a substitute because I want to have my kids to have everything that they need, and I need to be readily available to get it. But the problem is, we're not even putting a Band-Aid on it. Somebody said the Band-Aid. It ain't even a Band-Aid, because I'm inside. It's not even a Band-Aid that we're putting on them. Teachers are working with nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. And if Fort Worth ISD is working with nothing, and they produce this that we currently have, will we over and outperform what you thought we were gonna do? Think about if you applied the funds where they are really needed, and how much damage we could do to close the learning gaps. Building new heights was great, and I think that's the first step towards a right direction. But there's way more that the city can do. And I'm not saying Fort Worth ISD, I'm saying the city. Because you have a lot of opinions and letters and words to say about Fort Worth ISD, but you have not stepped foot in a school. You track my Dunbar band with place #1 in marching band in UIL to your state of a reunion of address, but I ain't never seen you at that school. I ain't never seen you at that school. So let's call a thing, and let's be accountable for what we do and say. If we're gonna call out people, make sure you check that mirror first before you start pointing fingers at people who are out. I wouldn't even say the trenches. This is mud that we're working in. So before you start pointing fingers and say this, that, and the other, start with self. And what have you done? Because you contributed to Fort Worth ISD being taken over if you didn't help it. If you didn't help it, you contributed. So you got blood on your hands too. So if you are going to allow and say, because I called you out and said, Mayor Parker, so you're going to say something about the takeover that the STAR tests has come out and we did better than y'all thought we were going to do? You never responded. But you were quick to say, I support the takeover and I support that. You were quick to say that. So if we're going to call a thing and we're going to lay blame where it's due. These families are working with high rent, working 2 jobs, and they still trying to provide what they can because groceries are high. And we have the highest low socioeconomic status in the area. And we still have to educate those children that are coming to our school hungry. I digress. Let's even talk about the lunch that they even get. Have you even seen that? So if we're gonna call blame, let's adults take the blame. But let's not do this. Let's not point fingers. See what we are doing right and join the fight. Don't sit on your dais and look down at us and say what we are not doing unless you down here with us working. So if you want to sit and point fingers, then you come and say, well, how can I get to work? How can I help you? But don't go down there because Governor Abbott don't know nothing about what goes on in Fort Worth ISD. Tim O'Hare don't have nothing to do with what's going on in Fort Worth ISD. Mike Morath don't know nothing about what's going on in Fort Worth ISD. He probably couldn't even name a neighborhood in Fort Worth. But you want to come and tell us what we need to do in our community. We elected people like Wallace Bridges, and I was one of the main people that got on the live and said, hey, if y'all get down to the school board election and get him in, because he was already doing the work. Toby was already doing the work. Roxanne was already doing the work. These are people freely doing the work. Don't come charter school out public education. We like what we have and we willing to work, but we don't want you here. You are not welcome. All of y'all are not welcome. So my plea is for the community to come together. We start the appeal process and we do what we can to prevent this from happening, because it's not gonna bode well for black and brown students, because that's all I stand here for, 10 toes down. Like the kids say, I'm standing on business. And they are my business. So from 8 o'clock when I get up to go sub, wherever I'm going to sub, and from 8 o'clock when I run the largest youth sports association in Fort Worth where I coach, to 8 o'clock, and on Sunday morning when I teach my Sunday school class of youth, kids are my life. And if I don't have no organization I'm representing, I ain't with NAACP, I'm with me as a parent of kids that don't have a voice. And I'm standing in the gap for them. And I don't care who that hurt, who would. I'm putting slugs where they're supposed to go. Let's go. I'm hitting the targets I'm supposed to hit. And whatever you take from that, oh well. But I'm real about this. This is one thing I'm real about. And they know I'll call them out too. I'll go to the school board and call them out too. Because I'm real about this part of this struggle. And if we don't educate them and get them where we're supposed to be, we are going to be in a bad place in the future of Fort Worth. And I'm not a transplant. I grew up here. I went to all these Fort Worth ISD schools, and guess what? They produced this mouth you see on me. And it's real. So my plea is for us. The takeover, y'all, is not going to be good for us. But if that's what y'all want to do, at least vote us. Keep Dr. Molinar there. Whatever we're doing, keep that in place if that's what y'all want to do. But we've already shown what can be, and we are on the right road. Stay in y'all lane and let us stay in ours. All right. Thank you. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, sister. Thank you so much for the work that you do and the sacrifice that you do, because that's what pushes public education. People who are committed to their community and knowing that it's from, that have children invested, that's what has brought back Texas education. I always tell people all the time, I remember in 2015 when we organized the kids to walk out of Sappho Cliff High School, there were 700 kids, it's 1,600. 6 academic distinctions, right? 4 appearances to state football championships, right? And guess what? It's 1 point from an A campus. But guess what? It didn't happen because the system thought. It happened because a community rised up, right? And when you take the community voice away from your school system, you already failed, right? Because that's the number one, that's the foundation of any successful school district, is the community. And when you take that voice away, I don't care what system or what you're trying to put, when you take the people's voice away, you take the foundation of their community away. And so I say this, the Next Generation Action Network, as we go forward, yesterday I got authorization from our board chair to retain a law firm that we retained in Houston, to make sure that the Next Generation Action Network has the powers and the support to be able to get open records requests, right? We know that we have an attorney general that I just won't say his name, but of course he's one of those Tim O'Hare-like type people, and he likes to bend the rules, right? And sometimes we need a little bit people with some bar cards to represent us to make sure that we can get the information to the people. It's the same law firm that many organizations in Houston, we want to partner with organizations that are doing the work on the ground. I know there is an anti-takeover coalition, Community Frontlines, United for Work, so many different organizations Southside that do the work. And we want to be able to make sure that the resources and the things that's necessary needed that we can get and make sure that our communities are empowered. This is not about me, it's about us. Texas public education is under attack, right? They doing it today in Fort Worth. We're just waiting on the next city that they do it tomorrow. Now, Tiffany Clark left us with a charge. We got an upcoming election coming. Yeah. And if you ain't registered to vote, you need to register to vote. Because these people are getting marching orders from an orange guy that resides in 1600 Pennsylvania. He's a visitor, he's an occupant, and I'm waiting for the eviction day that we can serve to him. But they're getting those marching orders and they don't care about me and yet you, right? They don't care about our communities. Your economy is built off of your school district. If anything you leave from this press conference is some nuggets that you can take back and use things like ChatGPT, Google, go to the library, and be able to understand what we have said in this press conference. If you want to know the plan that's going on, go and research the DeVos family from Michigan. Go look at the books, the people, the countless people that have told us this agenda. What they are doing in Texas school system right now is the DeVos family plan. Just take it from there. You don't have to read my words. Just literally look at that exact plan. I want to thank everybody for attending. I want to thank the Community Frontlines and Blank Space for hosting us today. And all of the great work that they do, y'all, for our elected officials. Thank y'all for everything that we do. And of course, this is not going to be the only thing that we do. We're going to continue to keep on going forward. All right, thank you.